Hello, world. Jazz hands are always a good place to start. Yes. So for those of you who have perhaps tuned in for another one of these Showgirl Awakening deck interview series, I'm really excited to have with me here today, Cherish. I don't normally say your middle name, but I see it. So I'm going to say Cherish Hope McClure. Yeah. Cherish Hope, that assists, I mean, that, And I'm actually going to pass the reins to Cherish to set us up and to, this is a little different than we've started other ones. And I'm just going to say, take it away, Cherish.
Awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me in and allowing this to take place. And I guess to me, a good place to start is actually how I know you and our relationship and just what that has meant for me over the past, 7, 8,
it's
10 years now?
It's coming up on, it was the summer of 12. So it's coming up on 8. Coming up on 8, yeah. It was August.
Yeah, so August, that's right, because it was Outside Lands.
Yep.
So I've had the opportunity to work with you in so many different ways. Dancing in burlesque is one of the more prominent, and then doing some of this like metaphysical work.
Yep.
And work around healing. It's all been work around healing. But I actually attribute my personal healing in the realm of depression to the work that we did. And to learning how to be seen. It was just like, we met at the perfect time when that was so ripe and in my face as an experience with the world and experience with myself of being at a low vibration and not knowing how to come out of that. And so in working with you, it's really changed my life. It's allowed me to come up for air, to see the world with beauty and to see beauty in myself. So
I'm rubbing my heart to like literally open to feel and experience and receive all of that. Yeah.
Same here. It's just I feel, and there's like no one way or right way to do any one thing, but this was my experience, is that I was able to come out of those depths through burlesque, through show up, right? The reveal.
Yeah.
Cherish? She finally got to take her clothes off.
Yeah. Literally and figuratively.
Yay! So that's how I know you. And I just think it's so beautiful, and it's such a good feeling. Good is such an inadequate word. But,
I feel you. Yeah.
And so, even within that experience and how it relates to the oracles are a direct descendant, if you will, from the work that you offer.
It's the underpinnings, just sort of organized into little nuggets, because altogether, any cosmology, any way of seeing on a macro level, how are we being here, especially the we, I just have to say, the we that this work is most resonant for, and this deck, I imagine, will be most a joy to work with, are folks who identify as highly sensitive people, who are processing more. And that we've talked about in other interviews. We don't need to, but here, boiling it down into just one little card. And I love, you're calling it the oracle, because for a long time I did. I've mostly been calling it the deck now. It of course can be used as an oracle, but it's a deep learning deck. Do you know? It's actually about 5 or 6 decks in one, and color coded so you can separate. If you just want to be dealing in the realm of the archetypes, you section those out. If you just want to be, just for the sake of focusing in on a territory, or just the movements, or just the frames. But yeah, it's the deck comes because it's my desire to concretize it in a way that we can play a little bit with the concepts, and try them on. And so this can go out to more people than who I may ever actually get to work with in a class, but that it can just go out like bees. The decks will be like bees pollinating. Yeah.
That's a really great imagery. It's taking the Showgirl awakening worldwide, which you have already done physically yourself.
Right. With my little body, sending my body around, which we can't always do, as we know. This is being recorded during shelter in place. But yeah, it wants to go around seeding. And also it's a living thing. It's a living system that I will be learning about for the rest of my life. It's not I'm all done, I have it all figured out, and here I'm just only teaching. No, I can teach the amount that I have unpacked, but a good deal of these cards, even, I'm just beginning to be able to articulate. Cherish, you've been with me over the course of these 8 years, have been the highest articulation time. The years before, I was teaching and leading and, performing myself, and gain all of what this deck refers to is the process of coming home to your body and coming alive as the spirit, the timeless spirit that you are, in a physical body that is solidly in time space. It's, the body as the connection of heaven and earth,
the marriage of heaven and
earth.
The
marriage of heaven and earth in the body. Full goose pimples. You probably can't see them, but full goose pimples. Yeah. I lost my train because it just that kind of blew me out for a second in a fine way. But what was I saying?
Just that this is a living system, and
living system. Yes.
And that it's at the point where it's most articulated.
It's the most articulated it has been, but it's only going to be through this. Well, it can be conversations too, but the deck will ignite conversations, internal self on self conversations, self with other conversations. The frame cards especially, holy crap, they're very they are like a whole set of glasses of that can allow to see your own self in the world, our own patterns in a whole new way. And yeah.
Do you want to pull out a frame card? Do you want to discuss one?
Well, let me see right here. I'll tell you what I yeah, actually I have a very big frame. I have a very big frame card. Do we want to start with there? Why not? Okay. Why not? Yeah. It's what I thought we might have fun discussing is the frame card of magic versus mysticism.
Ooh.
Magic versus mysticism. This, I remember actually being, I don't know, this frame may have come to me before living in this apartment, but I've been in this apartment for 22 years now. And no, 23. I've been, no, 22. And this is a frame that came to me around then. It might have been a couple years before, but right around then. I'm going to define magic and mysticism. It might be a little different than someone else's definition. In this context, magic is my will. What I want, magic. And mysticism is the will of all that is, or the will of source. You could say the will of God if that works, but what you see as being you could say the will of the universe, it's the absolute macro. And for me, where those two, I learned through culture, and I learned from many angles that these two are inherently in conflict.
In opposition, yeah.
And I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. When we get to the heart of our what we desire, and we are in the center of ourselves, and we are free from the conditioning of, you know, having to show up, like, yeah, you know,
Camouflaging, being something different than you
yes,
are.
yes, in order to belong or be safe. In order to belong or be safe, we have contorted, we have masked, we have tried to shove a major part of who we are into the closet or under the bed, or just, you know, lysoled it away. That term, unfortunately, has a terrible extra meaning right now in the world, but, you know, just really tried to erase, which can very quickly lead to extreme self-hatred. Yeah, just and the right to exist being severely compromised, the right to exist and the right to need, the right to exist. There's
Right.
the right to exist and the right to need. So stressed that we can't even be ourselves. So when we are in the center of ourselves and we know what our will is, that is the will of all that is. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's that marriage again, my will and the will of all that is. I could say where they meet, but really, truly, they meet. They meet. So it's not me or the world. It's me completely supported by the world, fed by the world, with food, with attention, with touch, with the being seen experience. It's the I needing you and you needing me. The world needs. I mean, now someone else has said this. Lots of people, but the world needs us.
Yeah.
Fully alive and fully in the center of ourselves, knowing what we want, not trying to figure out what we think other people want from us. Or this is a really big deal for empathic, caring, smart people, because it's so easy for us to go, oh, if I can just figure out what everyone else needs, and this is tricky. And I'm talking a little in the abstract here, but tell me what thoughts are coming from that.
Just that it's bringing in further clarity, like, and I don't know, maybe this isn't the most accurate and you can give me a little bit of feedback, but magic and mysticism are the same. That's what you're saying in a way.
Yeah.
Is that in its fullest expression, it is one.
Yeah. And I think I might have forgotten to say mysticism, when I just like as it's been expressed, and there's some times where mysticism has been expressed in a more blended way, but often if you look at the accounts of the mystic, it's not me, it's the universe moving through me. And there's sort of the part of mysticism that I'm wanting to challenge is, no, it's you, and it's you, and it's the inspiritedness of all it is, but that we ultimately can't this trying to say it's not me. No, it's you, because when you wake up fully, you are the specific facet of all that is.
Yeah.
It's not, there isn't a subservience. There isn't an earning, like I was good enough and so God is filling me now. And I've crossed my T's and dotted my I's. It's that I have breathed as the exact facet of all that is. So there, it's that hopefully that clarified a little. Not just for you, but for anyone listening, because I think I didn't describe what the mysticism. It is the self. It is the self.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole thing.
That's a whole thing. That could be a really long book. That could be a 400 to 500 page book. But, I'm actually thinking of one specific time when I was teaching English as a second language in Budapest, Hungary, long time ago. And I had some roommates and people who were on the same teaching team as me, who were beautiful singers. And they were collaborating and singing together. And they would, especially one would always push out, oh, it's not me. It's God it's God. No, it's you. It's your vocal cords. It's the time and attention. It's you and it's, there was just this really, it felt like this sticky, the thing that didn't feel good was it was this playing down. It was a self-negating that didn't ever feel good to me to hear. It didn't feel honoring. It didn't feel full of reverence for anything. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And I mean, it's relevant because there's so many different aspects that are pushing down on people, right? Systems, culture, right? What family you grew up in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so kind of that disassociation of who we are at essence has happened. And it's that disassociation has also been reinforced.
Yeah.
And so to go back and say, oh, that's actually not true is a huge process. Of remembering. Right. And I mean, that is a core aspect of what you do, is this coming home, this remembering of who we are.
Thank you, Cherish. And what's funny is there is a card that, because they all weave together. One that I thought would be fun for us to look at together. It comes from the reveling. It's in the suit of reveling in your body, and it's reverence. And what I think actually at the heart of this painful thing that I've experienced in myself and witnessed in others before a full reverence of the self is awake, because it takes some excavating and dusting off to feel that reverence. Before that's awake, it's outside of me. That the good is outside of me. That what's worth loving is outside of me.
Yeah.
And we can't love worth beans. Can't love worth old, stale, moldy, smelly beans until we love this one. And if you can't see, if you're just hearing us, I'm stroking my sternum. We can't love anything until we love this one. So it's having reverence for, and the thing that works the best for me is to come back to the body. What are the suit of reveling is all about, what am I feeling? Whether I'm in the middle of creating a burlesque act and then my body might seize with, oh my God, what's happening? What is my experience? What are the feelings and sensations that I'm having now? Where most of the world is moving at a clip where there isn't any time for that. No, we've got a meeting at noon. We've got a meeting at 12:30. But if we don't know what our own experience is, and then we can't know even what we want to show or be seen. It just starts there. And the deep reverent love of what we, especially the difficult feelings, especially the grief and the rage. They need big love.
An experience, ongoing experience.
And which kind?
Ongoing.
Yeah, they need ongoing. Yeah, they don't get just solved and then, okay, I'm done with that. Yeah. We need access to our full range.
Yeah, that acknowledgement and that care and attention. And that it's okay to have a full range,
Yeah.
you know? We're not this experience
Yeah.
holding up a very small amount.
Yeah.
It's all encompassing.
Um,
Mm,
mm,
yeah.
I am. I'm so curious what. Oh, just what? Because I know we're kind of both very inside this process in many ways.
Yeah.
What's something? I'm so curious how you're holding and carrying this with you as you are, because now, I haven't gotten to see you as much since you moved to Colorado. And how is it living within you? It could be hard to say because it might just live in a part of your consciousness. But if you can find how is this particular variety of awakening process, and living in you, or how do you access it if you can name?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that comes up for me is just that you gave space for
Mhm.
practice to strengthen a muscle that
Mm.
is called self-trust.
Yeah, that's the ingenue, just by the yeah.
Okay, cool. And which,
The medicine of the ingenue. She's one of the archetypes associated with the reveling suit.
mm,
Yeah. Self-trust.
okay, and reverence is rebelling as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are both. That's right.
Um, yeah, self-trust, the piece that is able to, in the midst of the storm, turn their ear to their heart
Mhm.
and say, what is actually here?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and to listen. So it's that trust and that listening piece, which truly takes time and space.
Yeah.
And because we do live in a world where we're going at a mile a minute in most cases, it can be hard to take space to actually listen. And I've noticed that because we're in the quarantine, safer at home experience, and I'm not going to my classes, I'm not going to the office all the time, I'm not doing this, that, or the other, that the slowing down has been this huge pause, or it's been a slowdown
Yeah.
where it's allowed me to be more at home in my body.
Mm, mm.
And it's not always pretty, quite
No.
frankly. A lot of times it's not. And so that's its own thing, addressing like with the not pretty space and like, well, I don't want to fucking be in not pretty all the time.
Yeah.
It sucks being angry. But what it is allowing is attuning to that and then being able to kind of dig in a little bit and add a little pressure and kind of dust it off or like
Mm.
clear the cobwebs. Like, what is under that anger? So trust and listening is, I think, one of the two of the biggest pieces that are living right now.
And it sounds like you're taking that very beautifully into, because all of these perspectives work with one person and another person, or or self on self. It sounds like you're really taking it into how you are allowing yourself to see yourself,
Mhm.
and that's beautiful. It's very advanced. Yeah. Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, I hope that it results in something that, yeah,
Yeah.
well, like that it can prove beneficial to the relationships that I have.
Yeah.
Another practice that is a bit unrelated, but also related actually, is using my voice.
Yeah.
And this whole fifth chakra, voice piece, speaking, claiming, calling in,
Yeah.
very new to me. And it's fucking powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the universe responds.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, be careful what you wish for. But
Yeah.
also like fucking make that wish with some intent and it'll come.
Are there any wishes that you wish to name that are that have, it can even be from the past. It doesn't have to be right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean the wishing, the prayer right now is connection.
Yeah.
Um Again, partly because we're in a physical distancing
Yeah.
period,
Yeah.
right? That I miss the touch, I miss the face to face, I miss breathing somebody's essence, you know, at a lunch table.
Yeah.
um so connection, and how does connection look right now? So that's, I guess, to be experienced, because I don't have any like immediate like this is what it is, but that's what I'm calling in right now.
Yeah.
um,
Call. Call. Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
mm,
I'm sure we will.
well, I guess there's other ones too, big.
Which ones?
Well, the things that seem big are just like that our world, our population can be in right relationship with one another,
Uh-huh.
you know. I'm just one person. Fuck.
I know. I know.
It,
But it always starts with the one.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
This is the only, and this is the trickiest thing, the only one that we have full authority. Actually, yeah, I think it'd be fun for us to, oh, original. Let's look at the one card that is original authority.
ooh, yeah.
Original authority. I remember looking at this with you years ago. I have to say it's jumped around from where it is in the deck, but
Has it changed names?
no, it's been original authority. It's been original authority. It's very close to something that I learned about at NLP Marin called
Mm,
creational authority.
okay.
But this one is original authority. It's coming back to, it's important to me that the emphasis is on where is the origin of it. And our, how it came up just now in my thought process was we only have authority over this one, over who we are. But when we do step into that authority, it allows us to relate so differently to everyone else. But it's
Mm,
not ever about controlling the other.
mm-hmm.
And the ways in which we've learned to, even when it looks like, oh, I'm being really nice to you. No, I'm actually controlling the shit out of you.
Yeah.
It's all hard to
Mm,
tease out. But when my own original authority, the authority that I have simply because I breathe,
yeah.
there's nothing to do about earning that authority. It
Mm-hmm.
comes just because I'm alive. And unfortunately, if my body had a different skin color, and if I grew up in a different place, I might have a way harder time to even know that I have any original authority. I mean, it's taken me a long, long time, given my own life and circumstance. But this is not a given that everybody has the same amount of access to what is their own, like their own sovereignty, their own original, like, no, not because of how I look or where I was born, but the authority to um,
Mm,
I think that kind of authority I mentioned, the right to exist, the right to need, the
mm,
right to learn. the right to take actions and have your own consequences, the right to love and be loved. These are the organismic rights of all humans. But very few of us get to age 3 with them intact.
That's young.
Yeah. And the truth is, most of the pain that we're responding to way out into our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond have to do with that, with one of these rights that didn't get mirrored, didn't get seen. That's why the seeing thing. We literally, you and I, Cherish, we have spent a mirroring time, and both the mirror of where you might see me and I might inspire something of, oh, yay. And then also when you might see me and you go, ah, I don't know what that, it's not a beautiful process always either, but it's the big part of what's important to me in this work is the being mirrors for each other, so that we can polish off in a sweet way the right to exist and the right to need, and have our own original authority.
And it's often in that scene, right, that the inspiration happens, right? Whether it's a seeing of like, oh my gosh, yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
Or one, shit.
Or the don't see me.
That too.
Don't see me. But it's really see me, don't see me.
Oh,
it's really see me, don't see me. See me and don't you dare see me. Please see me and don't you dare see me at once. I mean, that's so human.
I mean, I've lived that on.
So human.
What deck is original authority, or what segment?
Oh, original authority is in, I'll tell you the truth. It's lived in 2 different places, but where it is currently in the deck. Yeah. It was in reveling, and then it moved to receiving, and it moved back to reveling.
Yeah.
The truth is, this is something that whenever we're completely reveling, we're completely in our senses and emotions. When that's turned up all the way in an alive and well way, we're completely revealing our radiant essence, and we're completely receiving what we desire. They actually all happen together, but it's useful to break it down.
Yeah.
They're not as separate as language makes it sound like, but it's helpful to focus on one or the other for our own minds, but they're not separate. Highly sensitive folks tend to come from revel, reveal, receive. If there is a linear way, I know I just said that there's not, but paradox. So,
life.
And they are, revel is, if there's a simpler verb or two, reveling is being and feeling. Be/feel. Reveal is, if it's a simpler verb, it's do. And receive, if it's a really simple verb, it's have. So be, do, have. And sensitive folks we feel like we can't have, but what is it? How to say it? Well, it's just this state and experience of having things is not where highly sensitive folks tend to start.
Yeah.
We need to be and feel and then reveal, then do, yeah, and then we can come to have things. And
I like how you broke that down.
Oh, good.
I don't think that I have ever heard it articulated that way. And it's to it. It's to the
point. Be, do, have, but we have to be able to pay attention and accept, oh, I'm actually here. And it doesn't have anything to do with what I have. I don't have to have something to be. When someone's coming from the side of they're a hardier person, 8 out of 10 humans are just, there's a little thicker skin. There's not as much time spent in the upper, the metaphysical place is a place they might learn that they want to go, but it's not where they were born.
Right.
And so they start with having. They have things, and then move to doing and revealing, and then to feeling and being. The feeling and being is the place. Ooh, it's newer.
Yeah.
That's the more transcendent. Yeah. So anyway.
Thank you for saying that, because like in my own family structure, I'm thinking about a couple of siblings, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you're just a hardier breed.
Absolutely.
And got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry for the horns.
Oh, it's fine. They're beautiful. It sounds like chimes.
Oh, that's so good, because it sounds like a honking horn for me.
Like chimes. But yeah, the hardiness is real. Every human is sensitive. There's no human who's not. But there is an actually genetic makeup that makes 15 to 20% of the human and animal populations. We process more. We're not hardier, and it's not a matter, we can't train ourselves into being hardier. No, it doesn't work. We have to we have to acknowledge our connection to transcendence, and this, you can see this, that often you see it as knowing how other people feel, or we just have to find a way, if we want to feel really well in the world as humans, to be able to say, yeah, I'm connected to all this, and I have to figure out who is the one who lives inside this skin, and how she feels and what she needs. I will never lose my contact to understanding other people, but I can't have my body loaded full of everyone else's information. It doesn't help them, and it doesn't help me. So if anything, this Showgirl Awakening, the process, however you engage it, through creating a burlesque solo or through just playing with a deck, is so that you can find your own information, and you can individuate. If you want to look at it with a boring psychological word, you can individuate and have yourself, and then you can play. Then you can play with others.
Yeah. Beautifully put. Yeah. Okay. So, how have you been playing with your deck?
Well,
I mean,
these interviews, and I have to tell you that I had a nice looking beta deck, and I lost it, and then I made a quicker one, and some have spilled out. So I'm really waiting for the design is done, but I don't have the actual deck in my hand. So I'm playing with them mostly through, I mean,
you're writing them.
I'm writing them.
Living them every day.
I'm living them. I'll tell you, the whole receiving, that whole bunch,
yeah,
has my attention. Having, taking, attracting, all those. Those are.
Is there something that you want to speak to in the having, taking?
Yeah. So the vamp, that's one of the 9 archetypes. If you go through them sequentially in this order of from the B ones, or revel, or the do or reveal, and then to the have, she's the last one. And just this verb take. So she's associated with receiving, one of the 3. Just even hearing taking without any extra definition. I mean, when I say the art of taking, and I've shared with you about this before, so you already may have, I don't know, but what does taking mean? What does taking mean to you without?
Well, two things. First, it's like take, I take from, right? So that
Right.
means
Yeah.
that the other person has less than or is minus that thing.
You just, yes, 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 yes,
But take doesn't have to mean that. And
yes.
I think that may be where you're leaning, is
It is.
that I can take and you can also have, so that we can both be in that receiving space.
Yes. It's very much that. It's um the verb take. If someone told me a few years ago how it's really important that you know how to take things, I would have thought that exactly that they were telling me that I have to take someone else's thing. I was like, no, I don't want to take someone else's thing. But it's just I think one simple way to look at it is, say I have let's say someone gave me a piece of cake, yeah, or I bought a piece of cake. I have the cake on my plate. I
Mm,
have my fork and I'm taking a bite of this cake and I'm putting it in my mouth. This is a cake. I love it. It's carrot cake.
mhm.
And then I can think about a number of things. They could have to do with other people or not. It could be, oh, I'm spoiling my dinner. That starts to diminish my taking of the cake. Or a classic one, that I will wear it forever on my hips. That's diminishing my taking. Or my sister loves this flavor of cake. This is the last piece. Whatever, if I, any way that there's so many ways I can stop myself from enjoying my cake.
Mm,
So I'm actually pointing to actually have something or actually take it. You have to savor it. There has to be an allowing, not just a ticking off the box of I got the cake. Or and it can be a much bigger thing. It could be the job, it could be the partner, it could be the home, it could be so many things. It's not just that it is now in my possession.
right.
Did I take it? Or it could be the thing of it's offered, maybe the job was offered, and in a very literal way, you missed the deadline to say you wanted it.
Mhm.
It was there, but you didn't. There's a lot of different ways to not take. But when I think it all comes back to pleasure. That's where
Mm,
the reveling. It's, am I allowed to enjoy or have pleasure? And there's some deep wiring that there's only a certain amount of pleasure in the world. If I have it, you're not having it. Instead of, if I'm having it, maybe you can see me and step into me and know that's possible. Are you kidding me? That's possible. So it's t- I'm not an expert at taking yet, but I understand it more and more.
yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know, it just brought in so many things, like the
Okay.
idea of the cake.
What about the cake?
Just the idea of taking the cake and like my own experience with food specifically,
Yeah.
and like the quality of food or what its nutritional contents are. Um, so that hit home,
Yeah.
and equating it to, or lacing it back to pleasure. I don't know how many times we talked about pleasure and experiencing
Oh,
pleasure,
yeah. Yeah.
you know, and that when you experience, at least in the format of burlesque, when you're
Yeah.
experiencing pleasure on stage, then the audience is able to have that experience as well.
Yeah.
They see you stroking your arm or
Oh,
your leg, and they are in their minds doing the same thing. um Whoa.
but if you are just perfunctorily stroking your arm because that's in the choreography and that's what they told me to do, we know. We know if you're experiencing that. Yeah,
Right.
we know.
So, so we can call each other's bullshit, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And yet, how do we lift each other up in that?
Yeah, it's I think we lift each other up in the little extra amounts that we're,
Mm,
and we go to our pleasure gym We see, can I savor that for a second longer? Can I stay present just for another little minute?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The pleasure gem.
The pleasure gem.
I really like that. I'm gonna take that.
The pleasure gem. Yeah. Mm.
Oh,
Yeah. Cherish. So
Belle.
we looked at reverence. We looked at magic versus mysticism. We
Mm-hmm.
looked at the vamp. Yeah.
Original authority.
Original authority. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Um, is there anything that's alive that wants to be shared? It feels like a good closing place.
Yeah, I think so. This has been really special.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. You inspire me. Yeah. Cherish.
Wow.
Yes, you do. I mean, you are someone who I look to see and feel what's possible. Yeah. This is
Wow.
a very ricochet in the best way. Yeah. It is an example of lifting each other up. Yeah.
Mm.
Here's the tools I have. Here's what I can see. And I mean, we're plants and it nourishes you. And now, yeah, what you're already creating in the world and what I don't even know all the things that are coming, but so beautiful.
Thank you.
Can I just name, this is
Yeah.
you're in your own home.
I'm in my own home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. The first of a few, maybe.
Of a few.
It is so exciting.
Yeah.
What's that?
A first of a few.
Yeah.
I want to ask you more things, but I might have to ask you off of this.
Totally. I think
we're
so.
Gonna say,
but I just want to acknowledge and receive what you just said. I don't think that has ever been in my mind as a possibility.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
So thank you. I feel lots of tears. I always cry when I'm around you.
I have that effect on some people.
It's good. It's so good. It just means that, yeah, it's just energy. But yeah, this has just been a really special relationship. And so thank you. Mm-hmm.
The world that's listening or watching, take this in. This is a sweet, you're in the field of a sweetness.
Yeah. Thank you.
You stay here. We're going to say goodbye to the world. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you get to play with the deck and share how it's landing for you. So much love.